must be something in the air. My eyes are itchy. Yep, I got that one. Yep. Good evening and welcome to General Council for October 14th, 2025. Let's go to number 1, attendance roll call. Go ahead, Amos.
Scano Amos Key Jr. Carrie Bomberry. Dale Bomberry. Greg Fraser.
Hazel Johnson.
Elena Venevri.
Cynthia Jameson. And Councillor Helen Miller is unable to attend tonight. And the other councillors should be coming shortly. Number 2, identification of media. I don't see any. Let's go to number 3. Let's take a moment of silence for those community members that we have recently lost. Let's take a moment. Thank you. Let's go to number 4, adoption of the agenda. Any deletions or additions? If not, can I have a mover? Moved by Carrie. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Just a comment on Helen. She said she wasn't coming because she was suffering those dizzy spells again. So she just wanted that noted that she had those dizzy spells and not that she just wasn't here.
Okay, thank you. Is there a mover? Yeah, I'll move that. Moved by Carrie, second by Dale. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Let's go to number 5, adoption of general council minutes for September 9th and September 23rd. Go ahead, Elena.
On the September 9th minutes, I wasn't there, but when I was reading through, there's an item for 6-1. So it was the delegation. Karen Hill was here with OGD. And nothing's wrong with it, other than I wonder if we might be able to put in the motion at the therefore who they're submitting their request to, so it's missing that information. So just for to tie it to the next motion, which is you being authorized to sign the support letter to Indigenous Services Canada, if we could have the project submission to Indigenous Services Canada so they're tied together.
Okay, thank you. So any other changes? If not, can I have a mover for those September 9th and September 23rd? Moved by Carrie, seconder. Second by Greg. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Let's go to number 6. There's no delegations. Let's go to number 7 for Chief's update. On Tuesday, September 23rd, Six Nations of the Grand River staff came together for a day of fun, food, and friendly competition at our annual staff appreciation barbecue and baseball tournament. The day featured a delicious lunch and plenty of door prizes. It was great to see everyone out enjoying themselves. I even joined in on the fun by helping as an umpire, stepping up for a turn in the dunk tank, and playing on a team for one game of baseball. Nyawa to the Employee Wellness Committee and their volunteers who helped plan and run the event. It wouldn't have been possible without you. On Wednesday, September 24th, I met with City of Hamilton Mayor Andrew Horwath to discuss how Six Nations of the Grand River will be involved in supporting the planning and celebration for the 2026 Juno Awards. Mayor Harwath and I will continue to meet monthly as preparations move forward for the March 2026 event. Six Nations Tourism is also participating on the planning committees. On Friday, September 25th, I joined the Six Nations of the Grand River for Orange Bag giveaway to help hand out bags to the community. A total of 1,000 bags filled with traditional family games were distributed to community members. It was great to see such a great turnout. Uh, Nyawa to the dedicated staff and volunteers whose hard work made this event possible. Also, Nyawa to Councillor Dale Bomberry and Councillor Carrie Bomberry for helping out, handing out the bags. To ensure everyone in the community could be included, bags were also delivered with support from the housing department to the elders living at Sunrise Court, Pine Crescent, Bicentennial, and the Fourth Line log cabins. I also delivered bags to our displaced Iroquois Lodge residents. On September 29th, I attended the Social Services Community Breakfast as they observed National Day of Truth and Reconciliation early. The intent of the breakfast was to provide information on the resources that are available. Orange shirts were also available, and I was able to secure enough shirts to deliver to Iroquois Lodge residents. On the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation on September 30th, I attended and delivered welcome remarks at the official unveiling of the former Mohawk Institute Residential School in Brantford, now recognized as an interpreted historic site. The event marked a significant moment in preserving the history of the residential school and continuing the journey forward, healing, and awareness. Congratulations to the Woodland Cultural Center and all those who worked tirelessly over the past decade to make this unveiling possible. On October 1st, I delivered opening remarks to our seniors who gathered at the community hall for the Six Nations of the Grand River National Seniors Day event. The event was well received with over 200 elders in attendance. I was honored to recognize the impact of our elders have in our homes and their overall contribution to our community. Councillor Greg Fraser was the MC, and also Melba Thomas was also in attendance. On Tuesday, October 7th, myself along with Councillor Key and Councillor Fraser took the interim deputy minister and members of his team on a tour of the Iroquois Lodge. It was stated it was shocking. The damage and devastation are nothing I've ever seen before. Following the tour, a meeting was held with the chief executive officer and the chief operating officer in the chambers to discuss the high priority of an expedient new build and the costs associated with the Iroquois Lodge during the state of emergency. Tuesday, October 7th, I attended the Six Nations of the Grand River Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors meeting as an ex officio. The Collaborative Adaptive Management is a hands-on session that brings First Nations and Western scientific knowledge systems together to apply the principles of adaptive management to a real-world problem. This workshop addressed a holistic approach to water and land management on Wednesday, October 8th. That's when the participants visited Six Nations. I welcome the participants to the territory, and the remainder of the day was spent with Six Nations tourism and ended with a dinner at the community hall. Thursday, October 10th, I attended day 2 of the workshop, welcoming the Collaborative Adaptive Management workshop to Toronto. That's my update. Is there a mover to accept his information? Moved by Greg, seconder. Second by Dean. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Let's go to number 8. Moved by Audrey Paulus Bomberry, second by Hazel Johnson. So I just need another mover because Audrey's not here. Amos? The Wellbeing Committee recommends Six Nations of the Grand River 59th elected council. Whereas the Six Nations Department of Wellness remains highly impacted by the Jordan's Principle operational bulletin release by Indigenous Services Canada in February 2025. Whereas Indigenous Service Canada continues not to engage First Nations communities directly for Jordan's Principle programs, changes, and distinct community needs. Therefore, be it resolved that the Six Nations of the Grand River Wellbeing Committee support the engagement of the Indigenous Service Canada's Deputy Minister Gina Wilson regarding Jordan's Principle. Question? Go ahead, Lena.
Should that be reworded? So it's the 59th elected council support the committee in engaging? Is it the committee or is it the wellbeing department? Hazel?
Use your mic, Hazel.
I'm saying the department. Right, Amos?
Yes, yes, Colby.
Yeah, the way it's worded, right, is that the committee is supporting, so if we're making the motion, it would be from this table?
Yeah, go ahead.
When I make the motion, I do the changes, so it will read that Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council accept the recommendation from the Wellbeing Committee, just because this one came from the committee, so it's usually like if the recommendation comes from the committee, that's how it's worded on here, and then when the motion's released, I just reword it.
Is that okay? Go ahead. So it will be changed.
Yes.
So it will be changed. Yeah. Is there any other questions on this one? If not, oh, go ahead, Amos.
Yeah, then it might roll into our next motion too. I think you all know we are all frustrated with Jordan's Principle at this moment, not just only here at Grand River, but across the country. And every time it comes up, you know, we get more and more frustrated. So we're trying to find strategically a way to engage the Department of ISC, Indigenous Services Canada, our own political system, which is the next resolution. And in looking at what's in our toolbox, and I think I mentioned it a couple of times, and hopefully the community will hear me. We have at our disposal in our toolbox, we can request a public inquiry into the mess that Jordan Principle has become, but also we can engage the Auditor General to investigate her federal programs. So we need to become strategic, and either we do it through the Iroquois Caucus or the Chiefs of Ontario, or we stand alone and we go on our own way to request the public inquiry and or engage in the Auditor General of Canada. Right now, it seems to us, or to me personally anyway, or professionally as well, they're just sloughing us off. And I think we need to call in the cavalry, excuse my American reference here, but I think that's the only way we're going to get any real solid response. And I don't know whether we serve notice that we're going to do this and maybe something will happen, or we actually do it. So that's the background of these two motions here, is that we got to try and find for our staff a way to get through this mess with Jordan's Principle. And as you know, it's become a very strong mess across Canada. I think you read it every day or something on CBC or something about it, or in our own local papers. So that's the background, and I don't know whether Deborah wants to add something to it, but that seems to be our discussion at Wellbeing, trying to support our staff and trying to get Jordan's Principle back on rail. So that's the background of that, and if there's any questions about that, that seems to be our frustration. And I'm just suggesting we have an opportunity to use our toolbox if this process doesn't work, meeting with the minister and then maybe advancing our frustration to the Chiefs of Ontario through Mr. Benedict.
Okay, so it's been, go ahead, Dale.
Yeah, just a question, maybe to clarify on 8.1 then, what's the motion actually gonna read? Yeah,
So it'll read, therefore be it resolved that Six Nations of the Grand River 59th Elected Council approve the recommendation from the Wellbeing Committee. And then it goes into the actual motion. Approved to support the engagement of the Indigenous Service Canada Deputy Minister Gina Wilson regarding Jordan's Principle.
So I was just wondering if since Hazel and Amos will clarify that as the departments, can we put / department because that's just what Hazel had said, so I just wanted to be sure on what the motion we're actually making and what they're doing.
I'll go back and
Okay, with those, all in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Let's go to recommendation 9.2. Move, 8.2, sorry. I need a mover, because Audrey's not here. Moved by Leslie, second by Hazel Johnson, that the Wellbeing Committee recommends that the Six Nations of the Grand River 59th Elected Council to invite Abram Benedict, Ontario Regional Chief, for discussion on Jordan's principal issues. Go ahead, Elena.
Is he going to meet, if he accepts, with the committee or with full council?
I think it'd be great if he could meet with all of us, because I don't think has he been here to meet all of us yet, Chief? Maybe a good reason to come here and we can meet with him. But I think it would be nice if we could meet with the whole council, because we all have the same frustration with Jordan's Principle. So I think we have some questions posed, some bullets from our staff, raising some concerns with him. He won't have the answers, of course, but at least we can relay our frustration with Jordan's Principle and the fact that we want to serve notice that we request a public inquiry and or engage in the Auditor General. What I'm afraid of is that, to the community that's listening, what I'm afraid of is that they're going to paint us as we're the ones that made a mistake with this Jordan's Principle, when it's our staff that did the proposals, but they approved them in Ottawa. So I think it has to be very clear with our community that's listening and to all the families and that's affected by Jordan's Principle that our staff has been right on getting all of this information to Ottawa to get the approvals, but it's Ottawa that's causing the frustration with holding back and not approving all of the work that our staff has been doing. Instead, they want to gut the program and cut it back. So I think that's our frustration. If we can give that to the regional chief, I think it'll be a good thing to do. And then maybe he'll carry it on to engage a public inquiry on behalf of the First Nations in Ontario.
Can we,
Go ahead.
we have that right in the motion that it will be a full council just for scheduling and Shirley's purposes?
Add that. Okay. With that change, go ahead, Cynthia. Yep. Okay. Okay. So let's do this one. It's been on the floor. It's been moved by Leslie, second by Hazel. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Let's go to 8.3. I need a mover. Yeah. I was just going to go to the next one, but just finish up here. Is there a mover instead of Audrey's not here? Moved by Leslie and second by, Melba's not here. Is there a seconder? Second by Hazel, that the Wellbeing Committee recommends to the Six Nations of the Grand River 59th Elected Council. Whereas food sustainability and food security are a priority of well-being. Therefore, it be resolved that a summit of food sustainability and food security involving all community stakeholders be organized by the Wellbeing Department. Any questions? Go ahead, Amos.
Yeah, this comes to us through well-being as well from our staff. And we've been having a lot of dialogue in the last couple of months about trying to bring all the stakeholders and partners together who serve food, I guess, basically in our community, from the farmers to the greenhouse that we had going on Fourth Line and the Gayanase, the Six Nations farmers, and maybe even the people who go after wild game in the north. And they have that big feast. So I think we had a conversation within our well-being committee to see if we could bring all of these forces together and have a summit and just talk about what we can be doing going forward as a collective. And also, I told my well-being committee that I had the opportunity when I was in Ottawa 2 weeks ago to visit a hydroponic operation, a not-for-profit one, out of Ottawa, it's under the banner of Grocers, um, and it's really interesting. It's so minimal that you can use a garden hose to create hydroponics in the environment. Um, it doesn't need much. It needs a couple of trailers or portables, and you could create a hydroponics garden all winter long with we could grow lettuce. We could change the diet here at Six Nations. Could be lettuce and tomatoes all year round and cucumbers. So I mean, I was really impressed. In fact, I was asking my committee, my portfolio, if we wanted to go to Durham, Ontario, which is just north of Toronto, to actually see the operation. I've seen the operation in Ottawa, but I think I can talk about it. But if you don't have images, I think you have to see it in 360 degrees to see the potential of it. And so I just thought we could partner with that. And I think through Deborah and her staff, they brought it to my attention. And Teresa, I went to make a stop while I was in Ottawa, and those folks are willing to help us. There are a couple of First Nations in Ontario that do have one. One is now situated on Wikwemekong, Manitoulin Island Reserve, and also the Nipissing First Nation are getting into it as well to have hydroponic gardening throughout the winter. So I think that'd be a great bonus for us. And you can grow anything in there. Basil, whatever you want, herbs all year round, and you can either decide to sell it or sell it at cost. But an investment is not very large when you compare it to other greenhouses. But that's what's been our conversation at Wellbeing is how to address sustainability and food security here at Six Nations for our people. And perhaps get some of our young people involved with hydroponics, I guess, for nutrition. That's the background. And so that's what we want to try and have the summit. We invite everybody to come and just as we roll in and making our priorities in the next 2 years, to hear what we can do together and bring all of these stakeholders together that are in our community. That's the background.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Let's go to number 8.4. Six Nations of the Grand River 59th Elected Council approved to waive second reading on recommendation 181 to 83. Is there a mover? Moved by Leslie, seconder. Second by Hazel. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Yeah, I was just curious in that briefing note, I think it was 8.1. You know how the people sign off, so and so prepared it and supported, et cetera, et cetera. There's about 5 different signatures on there. And of all those 5, I think I only recognized Deb, but one of them in there was this Brian Heerchuk, Director of Wellbeing. Is that like a permanent addition or is it a contract or? He was here. When was he here? Oh, well, not for, yeah, it's just generally, and I think a couple of us had asked before, could we have a list of like the names of the people, at least in the senior positions, and what position they hold, because it would be nice to know or for us to be informed when people like a director of a department, a new person comes on, if we could be informed of that. And my other question is he native or from the community or?
So Brian Hairchuk is the new Director of Wellbeing. There was a communication that went out by comms, so you should have seen that by email. He's been here for 3 weeks now. He is a Six Nations band member, and he will be here tomorrow to present on the well-being budget. So you'll meet him then.
No, I tried to read my email, but I must say.
Audrey?
just wanted to say sorry for being a little bit late, but I didn't see any notices in by 12:30, so I went and did errands after that. So I'd like to suggest that we get all of the notices a lot earlier than we're receiving them. So now, but I am here.
Okay, let's go to number 9. Recommendations from the Community Committee. 9.1, moved by Carrie Bomberry, second by C. Leslie Green. At the Community Committee recommends to the Six Nations of the Grand River 59th Elected Council that in accordance with the terms of reference, section 3.01, commission structure and membership of Ogwenidau Commission, that Six Nations of the Grand River ratify and support the recommendation for the Ogwenidau Commission to accept Eleanor Joseph as the Community Commission member pending the results of the vulnerable sector check. All, it's been moved and second. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Let's go to recommendation 9.2, moved by Carrie Bomberry, second by, I need a mover, Leslie Green, that the Community Committee recommends to the Six Nations of the Grand River 59th Elected Council, whereas Paulson Construction is requesting the substantial completion date for the renovation and expansion of the Social Services and Administration building be extended from September 26, 25 to December 15th, 2025. Whereas the extension needs to be accepted and approved by Six Nations, therefore be resolved that the Six Nations of the Grand River 59th Elected Council approve the substantial completion date from September 26, 25 to December 15th, 2025, and authorize the Chief Executive Officer to sign the change order once it is prepared. It's been moved and second. Question? Go ahead, Cynthia.
Yeah, that's about a 3-month extension. And often with extensions for capital construction, there's additional costs. Are there any additional costs associated with this?
Arliss has indicated us in the meeting that there will, from Paulson, there will be no additional costs in relation to the delay. There may be some minor one just in some of the soft costs just for inspections and stuff, but other than that, no capital stuff from the contractor.
Okay. No other questions? It's been moved and second. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Yep, so let's go to number 9.3. I need a mover since Melba's not here. Is there a mover to move this recommendation? Moved by Dale Bomberry and seconded by Leslie Green that the Community Committee recommends forwarding the save the date of October 17, 2025 from the Chiefs of Ontario virtual information sessions on the Ontario final agreement to the Six Nations of the Grand River 59th Elected Council for their information. So, yep, go ahead.
Yeah, just to add in there, it's the final agreement in relation to the Child and Family Services Program. And it's on the October 17th from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30. So it's an invite for people who want to join.
Okay, thank you. So it's been moved in second. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Yep.
Is anybody attending from here? There's a finance committee meeting that morning.
Go ahead, Dean.
There's a virtual call that I'll be attending this Friday regarding that.
Yep. Go ahead, Cynthia.
I have another question on there. Is that, so this isn't the actual Ontario final agreement? Is it just general information? Because remember, there were all those issues that needed to be, in order to have the agreement resolved by the end of March 26. So I'm thinking then this isn't like the final, it's like a progress report or.
Yep, go ahead, Deb.
In the Dropbox, Cynthia, there's a flyer that came out from the Chiefs of Ontario and the Nishnawbe Aski Nation. So they're co-hosting a series of virtual information sessions focused on the implementation of the final agreement on a long-term reform of the First Nation Child and Family Service Program in Ontario. And they're calling it the final agreement. So it's representatives from Service Canada will join the session to support dialogue and provide insight. These sessions offer valuable opportunities to learn about the Ontario Final Agreement implementation, ask questions, and engage in meaningful discussions. The series is open to all. We encourage broad participation to ensure communities stay informed and involved throughout the important process. So that was the flyer that they had sent out.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so it's been we've passed that one. So recommendation 9.4, Six Nations of the Grand River 59th Elected Council approved to waive second reading on recommendations 9.1 to 9.3. Is there a mover? Moved by Dale, second by Leslie. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Okay, let's go to update from committee meetings. Number 1, Unity Building, External Government Relations and Justice Committee. The meeting date was Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Go ahead, Greg.
Thank you, Chief. Just a couple things for the public to know is that, yeah, we're on the final stages of the waste management bylaw that will be coming to council. I'd like to thank the community for all their input, especially with the community engagement sessions that we had. It was very informative for us, and actually we're going to be finalizing that management bylaw fairly soon and getting it to council to be passed. Second thing was, of course, we had the very preliminary discussions on, and we've had these discussions before on the development of a one-day court and a one-day court system. We know it is a big endeavor that to get started and to get involved with, but the preliminary discussions are happening. Just outside of the Unity building, more along the lines of the external government relations. I had the opportunity, of course, attending the Longhouse opening. I just wanted to encourage the community, if they get a chance, get over there and see that the traditional Longhouse. I found myself that it's when you sit there by yourself, it's a very calming effect. And I'd like to thank Aaron Mentor on that one. Also, too, just along the lines of the external relations portion of this, is getting the chance with the chief and Councillor Amos Key to be involved with the tour. It was a very somber tour of the Iroquois Lodge, and we know that the ministry, the Deputy Minister, Peter Kaftarian, was very supportive as we move forward to affect the change for our elders in a positive way. And of course, we know that's going to be coming fairly soon. And that's it for me for the external relations. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there a mover to accept the verbal report by the Unity Building External Government Relations and Justice Chair as information? Moved by Leslie, second by Dale. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Let's go to number 2, Wellbeing Committee. Meeting date was Friday, October 3rd, 2025. Go ahead, Amos.
Okay, beside what I already advanced in our committee, we did. I attended with Councillor Fraser at the City Hall meeting last Wednesday, and it was very well received, I thought. We both spoke to the need for a new residence for our senior citizens and our elders. I made it a point to commend all of our staff. I don't know why I do this, but I love the work that our staff does, and in providing briefing notes, and so that when we get to external relations like this, it's all there. We can speak to that. So I would really like to thank our staff internally here who did that, and I made a point to share that with the City Council. In fact, the mayor even stayed for his committee meeting, which was really good to hear. Good to see. So it was a very positive meeting. So that was one part of last week. We had a delegation come to talk to us about our pets. I don't know what we call that sector in the council. The animal control, is that? Anyway, they made a delegation to our well-being, and I was taken back about what their working conditions are, and the fact that they need staff, they need a building, and security. So we had asked that they come forward with a budget uh, to help support them, and hopefully they have it ready for this week when we're talking budgets, so that we can help them post April 1st next year, or even sooner. So that was a good delegation from the animal control. Um, And I talked about the state sustainability and food security. Um, and then, of course, we got introduced to our new, as a director of operations for Brian, and we'll meet him tomorrow. And the other thing, I think, I didn't have the date, but I think it's around Valentine's Day. There's going to be a fundraiser for our hospice. So put that on your calendar, all you lovers. It's going to be at Mont Hill, so it's going to be a gussied up affair, so we can all get gussied up. And go to, and we invite the community to come and support our hospice, the fundraising for it. So that's going to happen around, it's going to be on February 14th? February 14th, it's going to be right on that day. So we put that in your calendar now for, it might be a nice stocking stuffer coming up for tickets for that. So just remind everybody. Anyway, that's how we ended up our meeting, so it was great. Anyway, that's what we did at Wellbeing. Lots of work, but we love it, don't we? Yes. It's helping our community. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, can I have a mover to accept his verbal update? Moved by Leslie, second by Hazel. All in favor? Be opposed? See none, carried. Audrey, did you have something?
Oh, I was going to move it or second it.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to number 3, Community Committee, meeting date October 8th, 2025. Go ahead, Dean.
I'm going to have to defer to my co-chair for the update, as I was away on council business for those days.
Go ahead, Dale.
Okay, one of the things we talked about in the open session of our committee was Ontario Reform Implementation Committee, and I know some information is going to be sent to the council, and they want you to review it and provide comments back to Clarissa, and it's about a appointment to this uh, implementation, Ontario Reform Implementation Committee. So it's gonna be going out to you guys. They want comments on the process draft job description. I'm not sure why they're calling it a job description, but it's a committee that people are gonna be appointed on. I think there's 8 in total that will be appointed from, there'll be some from the province, and then the chiefs of Ontario are picking some. But you should have gotten it by now. It'll probably be coming from Teresa Longboat. And she's looking for a deadline of October 27th, so that Claire can get it back to the Chiefs of Ontario. So it should be coming in your email. Have a look at it, and it's more of, I guess, some of their tasks that they're going to be having when they're on that committee, and they'll outline when they're meeting and stuff like that. The next one was, I guess, Ganokasha was appointing Kylie May Longboat to this. I think it's the Chiefs of Ontario committee to deal with. If I forget the acronym, what? Two-spirited people and individuals, and she had a number of questions. So Teresa was just going to get some feedback from the Chiefs of Ontario. So she had some questions before she would accept that. So I'm not sure if it's going to come back to the council to approve that as well. So they'll be coming back. And we just talked about the information session that's going to happen on the 17th. And we also talked about the Pulsant that was on our committee in regards to the extension of the date. A couple other things happening. I know this has been going on for a while regarding some roof replacement at the arena. It's supposed to start October 14th, well, in December 2025. Staff from Public Parks and Rec will be sending out information sessions through social media, as well as putting flyers out to let them know what's going on, just so the community is aware of what's going on when they come to the arena and they'll see the construction. So just so they'll be informed. And Arliss informed us, I guess, in relation to some procedural things they gotta do. I guess there was some that were a car had been driven through into a daycare facility. I forget the location of where it is, but anyways, the ministry sent some words out and they wanted to people to have a little more barrier protection around the facility. So Arlis is going to be doing that in relation to what she's doing at the daycares. Leah Thompson updated us on the seniors event that you talked about, Chief. She said it was well attended. There was over 200 participants, and they had meat draws, uh, meat meat draws and double meat draws were provided by Town Line Variety. And they're working on, in the community hall, they're working on getting some increase in the audio for better sound as well as some new blinds for the community hall. And there's, yeah, new sound system they're working on. So, and they're submitting proposals to the Economic Development Corporations. They're looking at resurfacing the running track, baseball diamond upgrades, accessible walking paths, and drainage and some topsoil work around the arena. I think that was pretty well it. That was pretty well it from the community.
Okay, thank you for that. Is there a mover to accept the verbal update? Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
just give me 1 second. Can I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Dean, seconder by Carrie. Go ahead, Leslie, to add.
I would just like to mention that for the community breakfast, just to mention that the meats had come from Town Line Meats, and that there was also just honorable mention tonight, and thanking them for that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, all in favor? Be opposed? See none, carried. Go ahead, Greg.
I believe on this Sunday, correct me if I'm wrong, on there's a Veterans Park. The Six Nation Veterans Association will have their Remembrance Day celebration. I believe starting around, I know probably at 11, that's when they do a lot of the speaking, Passover of flights and stuff. But I think it is Sunday morning, usually around, if you get there around 9:30, 10. That usually gives you enough time.
Okay, thank you for that. So number 11, motion to adjourn. Is there a mover? Moved by Hazel, second by Leslie. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Thank you for joining us tonight, and have a great night, everyone.